Breaking news right now, we have just learned that a member of the Robbins family has died following the injuries he suffered in the May 15th explosion and fire in Searsmont. The Maine Department of Public Safety says Alden Robbins died yesterday. They released a statement from the Robbins family, which says he died peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. They describe Robbins as a devoted husband, father, and family member, and says he fought with courage after the accident. Alden Robbins was a co-owner of the mill and served vice president of sales for the company, according to their website. It also says he was the chairman of the Northeastern Lumber Manufacturers Association. The family thanked medical teams at Maine Medical Center in Portland and the Sumner Redstone Burn Center at Massachusetts General Hospital. They also thanked first responders and people across Maine for their support. They say a celebration of life will be held at a later date, and they're asking for privacy. Alden's daughter, Lily, an EMT, and his brother and fellow owner, Jim, remain in the hospital in Boston.